Hello, Shemai, and welcome back to my wild Welsh garden. In a previous video, I told you of my plans to have an area of long grass in my garden. And the reason for this is that sort of area retains moisture and so provides a really good habitat for all sorts of invertebrates. And of course, the invertebrates are the bottom of the food chains and the food webs, so that they provide food for other birds and animals that I want to attract into my garden. Well, when I think of these wild areas that are left to grow long, I do tend to find myself wanting flowers there because it's a garden and I want it to look nice. And I kind of lose the significance of the grass. So I looked into this. Why do we need long grass? And I was really surprised by the number of butterfly larvae that actually feed on grass. And because there's so many, I had to actually write a list. There's the meadow brown and the ringlet and the speckled wood and the wall and the gatekeeper and several skippers and many moths. And I really know very, very little about moths at all. Well, of this list, I have seen in my garden meadow browns and speckled woods, but I haven't seen any of the others. But it would be great to be able to attract them and give them somewhere to lay their eggs. So that's the plan for today, is to start creating one of these long, grassy, weedy, wildflowery areas, but with the emphasis on grass. The thing about living in a place where it rains a lot is you have to take advantage of the dry weather. And it's lovely and dry and warm and very sunny today. So I'm not entirely sure you can see. But this is the area by the side of the polytunnel that I'm going to turn into my long, grassy, weedy, wildflowery area. And I've made a start because I've taken all the stuff away that I've dumped here. So the next job is to just go round and see if there's anything special that's rooted itself. I don't think there's much. I know there is an honesty, and there's a strawberry, and there's quite a few primroses around the other side. So I'm just going to, and some forget-me-nots. So I'm just going to dig those up and pop them up or heel them in somewhere for the time being. I'm here down the side of the polytunnel, and I'll show you where I'm up to. This area here, the membrane is still down, and what I've been doing is just pulling it up, and either it rips or I've been cutting it, and then you're left with this quite bare earth underneath with a lot of exposed roots, some of which are quite big. Look over there, I think that's the root of that big buddleia there. And then I've been shaking it into these trugs, and as you can see, I'm left with a lovely trug full of compost. There are still some large chippings in here, but it's mostly just compost. So the question is, what am I going to do with it? Well, I'm not going to put it on the paths that are going to stay as chippings because it's really just compost. I think I'm going to use it to mulch the flower beds, and I don't want to have to carry it very far. So what I've done is just up there, just up the top of those steps there, leading up to the lawn. Don't know whether you can see it or it's too dark, but I've cut back some hardy geraniums which won't mind, and I'm just going to pile it up there, and then in the winter when everything's died down I'll put it all over the flower beds. Then I'm left with these sheets of membrane with lots of weeds growing in it. And to be honest, I'm really not sure what I can do with this other than take it to the dump or put it in the bin. I don't like to do it, but I honestly can't think what else to do with it. I've managed to clear pretty well the whole of the side of the area around the polytunnel, the larger side. And you can see that there's the pile of membrane there, and then this clear area in the middle. I'm going to take up the edges and rake it over and make it level. And I've collected a few plants in here that I want to keep. And that's my pile of compost waiting to be spread onto the borders in the winter. Well, it's one way of making compost, I suppose. And the other thing is that I do have to be a little bit careful about not overdoing it, because if I do too much today, then I won't be able to do anything tomorrow. So I think I've done enough for today, and I think it's going to be fine again tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get some work done out here in the morning. And I think it's nearly 1 o'clock now, so that's where I'm off to. So I'll see you tomorrow. It's a misty morning here in Wales, just the sort of weather to look for spider webs. This is some lavender that I forgot to cut back, and the spiders have taken over. I was out here at first light this morning because it's forecast fine for today and then rain for the rest of the week, so I thought I'd get on with this as much as I could, because if it rains it'll just be impossible, as you can imagine. So I've taken the edgings up and I've raked this part over, so this is all ready to be colonised by all sorts of wild things. Those are the plants that I dug up yesterday, and I'm going to replant those. And then if I turn you round, this is the area just in front of the polytunnel where I've also taken up the membrane and the chippings. And as you can see, it's really quite uneven, so I shall have to get on it with the spade and the rake and try and even it out. And then this is where I've stopped, because like I say, I do have to pace myself, and I think I've done enough for today. And round here is the area that I haven't taken the membrane or the chippings up. But I have dug up a trug full of primroses, which I will replant when I've taken the membrane up. And then I shall just leave it. I shall go away for the winter and leave it to itself and see what happens. It's a robin ticking at me for some reason. Yes, I seem to say that a lot. We'll see what happens. And I think basically that is the essence of wild gardening. There are no rules, there are no conventions. So you do something, you make an intervention, you don't make an intervention, and you see what happens. And if it works, you do it again, or you do more of it. And if it doesn't, you do something different. I feel like I've made a good start on my long grassy area. There's still a way to go, and I'll keep you updated on my progress. Seeds are going to blow in from around the place, but I've decided I do want to help things along a bit. So I've ordered some native grass seeds from an online supplier, and they'll be coming in the next few days, and I'll be sowing those on the area that I've cleared, and then as soon as I've cleared the rest, I'll be sowing them there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed your visit to my wild Welsh garden, and I hope you'll come again. Thank you for all your positive and helpful comments. It's lovely to read them, and it's lovely to have you along on my journey of wilding my garden. So thanks for watching the video. Please hit the subscribe button and like the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hwyl am y tro.